G'day, hi, and welcome. Take 3. Oh. Anyway, should you play for free? The short answer is most of the time you don't have to. Okay, I'm going to try to keep this video kind of short because this is my second time making it, or third time making it, and I kind of screwed up some points, and it went on too long anyway. So, okay, here's the thing. There are times when you can play for free and it'd be beneficial. But when you play for free, you gotta have to play for free with some sort of objectivity, or not objectivity, but a goal in mind. Like it's going to lead you to something. So most places that people want to play that are really popular, that that place can seem to get bans all the time. A lot of times those places don't pay well, but sometimes it's a great place to pick up an audience if you play pro bono. So in that scenario, yes. And then once you pick up the audience from there for your next place that you play, then you don't need to go back to those places again. Unless you just really like playing there and just like, oh, hey, cool, I got to play at this place or that place. Whatever. Okay. Now, the other thing is that if you're going to play for free, I would recommend, if you're doing it to impress the establishment owner, whether it's a bar or a venue or whatever the venue is, if you're doing it for that, you're best off find places that say have a jam night, and find out if they hire bands too. Because there's one that I've been trying to get to for about, believe it or not, 2 years now, but because of the reliability of my vehicles, I can't tote my equipment around. But that's going to change soon. I have a feeling that's going to change soon. And as soon as it does, I'm going to go there. I already talked to the bar owner. I said, look, you guys do a jam night? Yeah. I said, do you ever hire people for the night or whatever to play? And they say, oh, yeah, all the time. But the best way to promote yourself is through the jam night, which is playing pro bono. But the nice thing about it is you might pay 3 if you do really good. This is what happened, and I'm not bragging, but I tend to be really good with my audiences because I've done it before, right? I always go up and I tell the audience this is my first time playing live. That's the little trick I do, and then I do something, and they're blown away, and then they catch on that I'm lying to them after about the first song or so, and we make a big joke out of it, and you start playing around with the audience and you get people into it. Next thing you know, you're 3 songs, you're about to get off the stage, and like, no, play monkey, play, you back on stage, play monkey, play, and then that happens, and then 8 songs later, you're whatever, people give up their jam night spot because they're like, they want to hear you play, and that's always very nice when that happens. It doesn't happen all the time, but when it does, that's when you go talk to the bartender and say, hey, you guys looking for somebody for like a Thursday, a Friday, or a Saturday night, and how much do you pay, and is it, see if it's worth your time. And if they say, no, we just do the jam nights, you can play for free if you want, then it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll think about it. Always be nice, always be courteous, because they might say, well, we don't, but such and such there, and we can recommend you to that place. Never burn your bridges whenever you're dealing with people. Some places, they're like, yeah, you can play, but you have to bring your own audience, and you play for the hat. Which sometimes you'd be surprised. This guitar playing for the hat is, like when they had the little bar out here, it's like, okay, it was $60 a night. So I'm like, okay, I can literally be wheelbarrowed home. So for $60 a night, it's worth my time to show up with my, small PA and whatever, little tiny little venue. And everybody had a great time and whatever. And they paid me $60, but with all the tips and everything, one night was like $125 I made. Another time I made $175. So it was, for 3 hours work, it was definitely worth it. And that started by accident, taking a guitar very similar to this and just playing a couple of songs for fun for people. And just letting it howl, just sitting there, and people enjoyed it. People enjoyed it. And you'd be surprised. So promoting yourself, sometimes you play for free because you don't really care about the money. You just want to entertain. That's fine. I have nothing against that. But know that you don't have to. Especially with acoustics, one-man band stuff. There's so many venues you could fit into. There's almost no reason to ever play for free. There's almost no reason. There's really so many places that will pay you. And the nice thing about the one-man band things is they look at you and they see a deal. because when they see 5 guys or 4 guys walk in with their guitars and stuff, they're like, okay, well, these guys are going to want $200 each. They're going to want $100 each. And you're going to argue with them, maybe pay them $350, $400, maybe, whatever. Some places they might say, okay, well, we pay $600 for the night. And the best I've ever made was $600 in the night. But, not for myself. It was like the whole band, right? And I think we were 3 or 4 guys. I can't remember. And we played that place like 3 or 4 times. But it was just like, it was one of those rare places that you just find and stuff like that. The average was probably $175 to $275 a night is what we were making for a 5-piece band, 4-piece bands, 5-piece bands, whatever they were, because I was in quite a few. But from the acoustic thing, the one-man band stuff, that's all gravy. That's all gravy. That is just dollar signs that you're looking at there. $400 guitar, I could burn that thing right now, and it would still have made me more than what I paid for it. You know what I mean? It's paid itself off maybe once or twice. I'm not too sure. Somewhere in between that. So, and that was not really trying. That's only a handful of gigs, guys. Handful of gigs. So there's really no reason to play free if you don't have to. If you're trying to, well, I'll tell you 2 times that I did play for free, and this is what I mean where there's a big payoff by playing free. One time was, although it didn't work out into our favor because we weren't really ready for it, and it was short notice, and it was my drummer saw on the paper that there was a talent show for the CHRO TV thing. And basically, if they liked you, you could be on TV. So that was great promotion, right? So we showed up, and it was more like a Tommy Hunter kind of show that they were going with. So you had little girls there with tap dance shoes on. We were the only rock metal band that was there, and we had I had my big Mesa Boogie. So we said all that. They put on they had it was a TV station. So we did that. We played. We didn't get on there, but it was the opportunity was there, so we took it. And it works. It doesn't work. Okay, it's a gamble, whatever. But it was definitely worth our time to play one song. It was a one-shot wonder, one song. If it worked, it worked. If it didn't, it didn't. It was a great gamble, right? It wasn't we didn't lose anything out of this. And it was fun. It was kind of fun. The other time was this is while we were playing about 4 nights a week. There was this bar called Grand Central, which is long bulldozed and turned into a parking lot, sadly. There was an awesome place to play. The stage was like, I don't know, 60 feet, Anyway, we get called up by this band that we knew, and they said, hey, we don't have enough material. We're opening up. Can you guys open up for us? So we're like, okay. And they said, but you're going to be opening up really early, like 7 to 8 o'clock. I'm like, 7 to 8 o'clock? Okay, well, whatever. Why so early? So we showed up. We played one. We only had to play one set. We play, and there's like all this extra equipment on the stage, and it's like huge amplifiers, and there's like, we're pretty much like just, it was unbelievable the size of the PA system they had that night. I'm like, this isn't the house PA that we're normally used to playing through. And it turned out it was April Wines. If you never heard of the band April Wine, it was a Canadian band. They're still around, they still play. And they had an opening act that they were going to take on tour. And what happened was, they did that band didn't quite have enough music to fill the slot. They only had maybe about an hour's worth of music, so they needed a second band there to fill in, right? Because the bar wanted XYZ amount of hours played, right, for the price. So we came in, we had 3-4 hours of music. That was no problem for us because we were used to playing three sets a night. And we opened up for them. Then we start seeing the members of April Wine walk in, and we're like, okay, this is cool, And anyway, after we found out that they were going on tour with April Wine, the guys from April Wine said, oh, you guys played really well. It's like, we already promised the other guys that we're going to take them, but if you guys are available the next time, we'll take you guys. And they were going to go on like a couple of week tour or whatever, and we'd just be the opening band. But that was a great opportunity. We didn't get paid, but it was a great opportunity, right? So that kind of thing was, there can be wins there. Now that band long broke up before the second opportunity came, but you get the idea of what I'm getting at, that there is times where playing for free might land you something better. Sometimes you want to play in a bar that's really popular, or play a venue that's really popular, and the only way to get in is through like there was one place they used to have bands all day, and it was kind of like moving yourself up through the ranks. You started on a Monday when there was 2 people sitting on the bar, and you played like, when the bar opened at like say 11 o'clock or 12 o'clock in the afternoon, and you'd play, and if anybody clapped, well, you might make it to a Tuesday, and then if you did a Tuesday and you did really well, maybe you might make it to a Thursday night or something like that, or a Wednesday late, and then you'd work your way to the weekend, and if you made yourself to a Friday or Saturday, you got paid. Those kind of places, not so fun to play because they can get so many bands anytime they want. They never need to pay anybody anyway. And most of these places are, you play for the door, and it's really tough. It's great if you have a following, then you play for the door. You get 100 people show up at $5 a pop. Okay, that's a good, that's a good night. That's okay. Like, that's not bad. But most places, it's like $2 a night. You might walk out of there only owing the bar, $40 or $60, because you're gonna drink more than you're gonna, even if you just drink colas, you're probably gonna drink more than what you're gonna get paid, plus the gas to get there and the time and stuff like that. So there is times to do that, but just picking your venues is the big one. But a lot of times, you don't have to play for free. If you want to play every night of the week, you might have to make compromises. But I know guys that's all they do is play jam night to jam night. They've got a jam night every night of the week. Okay? And these guys, strangely enough, do make money. But they play like jam nights 4 nights a week just to have fun. There was this guy, Monty. This guy, I thought this thing was heavy, but he's got a freaking Fender Twin. And those things are like 100 pounds, 80 pounds, 100 pounds, whatever. This thing's like 50, right? And he lugs that thing everywhere. And this guy was just a fantastic player. One thing I'll say about the city of Ottawa, Montreal, the best musicians you've never heard of live there. These people, it's like they should be more popular than what they are. But the music, like, and I'm talking, pick a genre, any genre, just phenomenal musicians. And anyway, this Monty guy, he played jam nights 4 nights a week. But Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday was usually, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday was money-making time. But he did the other times just for fun, just to find new venues, right? That's how he did it. And this guy had been playing for 50, 60 years. I don't know how old he was. He was 72, 70. And it's just, that's all he did all his life. He had his Stratocaster. He had his Fender Twin. He played blues, but he also liked Yngwie. It was just, he was an interesting guy. He was a one-man show. It was amazing what he did. He played slide guitar. He was fantastic. Just brilliant. He played Nashville. He played everywhere. Anywhere he could get his aunt toted to, if it could fit on the bus, that's where he could go. And that's what he said. He said, he played a place for free here, do that, and then they would recommend him to another bar, and then he'd get $1,000 a night here, $2,000 a night there. When he played Nashville, he was making ridiculous money, but he said it was really hard to get into the door, but once he got into the door, he'd play 5 paying gigs a month. That's it. 5 paying gigs a month. 4 to 5 paying gigs a month. And that would take him to his next city or wherever he wanted to go. And then the rest of the time, it was just pro bono and fun. Just to meet people. What a life is that, right? So anyway, you can do it, but trust me, Monty's lifestyle was not for everybody. I mean, no, he was definitely a traveling man, we'll just say. He was just, yeah, he was definitely a blues man. He was an interesting character, very interesting character. I just thought of him there now, but he's a perfect example of it. But he said, you never have to play for free if you don't want to. I myself will end on this. To me, 1 gig a month is like the highlight of the month. Playing 4 nights a week is work. Even if you really like doing it, it just, you get stale after a while playing the same stuff over. I like having a little bit of downtime to learn new things, so the next time you play live, you give people a whole new experience. That's kind of fun. And a lot of bands that want to make money at this, that's something that they forget, that they get a set list and they play every weekend. And they're always playing the same songs. And then they get sick of the songs and then they start taking it out on each other and the band breaks up. I'm telling you from experience, don't do that. Play a little less. Hold out for the paying gigs a little more, even if they're a little fewer and farther between. Maybe do a couple of pro bono, but change it up from time to time. Keep it interesting, keep it exciting, keep it fun. I'm going to leave it at that. So no, you don't ever really have to. I know some people who've never played a free gig in their life. They don't play every day, but some of them would play a couple of times a month, and they'd pay their rent or at least subsidize their income. You know. So that's where it's at. There are times where it's worth it, but don't think that that's the way to get up the ladder, because if you're thinking that this is how I get exposure and people will notice you, it doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Whether you're getting paid or not getting paid when you're on the stage, the audience is still the same. So you might as well get a little bit more out of it. And the audience is, obviously what you're doing it for. You're going to do it for the love before the money, because if you're trying to get rich at it, there's easier ways to make a living. I do it more for the fun and the love of it. If you're not in it for the love, you're not going to stick with it. So anyway, if you like this kind of content, make sure you smash that subscribe button, that like button. Make sure you share this to any of your fellow musicians that you think might value this kind of advice. And if you have better advice, by all means, throw it down there. Next to that, rate, subscribe, share, comment, like. Be true to yourselves, be true to others. Always do the right thing. Have yourselves a great day.